Okay, today I'm going to share with you a sample answer for continuous writing narrative essay. So, the question that we're going to discuss today is SPM 2016's question, which is write a story about a time in someone's life when music played an important role. Okay, so we also have a similar question in 2005, but it is of different format. Okay, it is a one-word essay entitled Music. Okay, so for this narrative here, okay, we are going to lay down the 5 plots. Okay, the first plot is intro. Okay, so we have to answer the question. The question asks for someone. So we are going to introduce that someone. So the someone here is John, my brother, the writer's brother. Okay, for rising action, okay, so the writer here wrote about John, who was a music prodigy. Okay, and then the writer also described what music meant in John's life. The third plot, climax, John lost his hearing. Okay, so can you imagine what will happen when a musician lost his hearing? Okay, next, in the fourth plot, falling action, okay, John tried to take his own life. And for the conclusion, what happened to John? What happened to me? Okay, so now let's read. Bright sunlight shone into the room from the window behind me. I sat in front of my golden-aged piano, teaching, or I would rather say, introducing piano keys to my daughter. Mummy, Mummy, who is that? Asked Lily, my 5-year-old daughter, bouncing up and down with a big smile pasted on her face. Her eyes shone with joy and excitement. I looked at the photo that was placed on my grand piano. There, in the photo, stood a little girl smiling brightly, showing her toothless smile while looking passionately at a teenage boy beside her. Looking at the photo made my heart burst. I forced a smile, looking at Lily, and said, "That is Mummy and John, your late uncle, honey." My heart was heavy. Nonetheless, I decided to stroll down the memory lane and told my baby princess about her uncle. In the photo, I was merely 5 years old, and it was so obvious to everyone who looked at the photo that I really adored and loved my brother. John was a music prodigy. Since the age of 3, he could play the piano as if he had been playing it for years. I remembered how my mother always received calls from TV stations asking for my brother's appearance in their shows. I was too young to understand, but John never smiled. He was a very quiet person. He kept everything to himself, all the time. Every day, every hour, every minute, I would find him sitting in front of his piano playing melodious music. As soon as his fingers danced on the black and white keys, he would appear as if he was in another world, pouring his feelings into the music that he made. To spend time with my brother, I would take my dolls and books into his music room. Sitting down quietly, I always enjoyed the whimsical melodious ambience. I always wondered how my brother managed to express his emotions through music. I enjoyed just being in the same room with him. Every month, my mother would sign my brother up for piano competitions. My family and I would always be among the audience, beaming with pride when my brother got a gold medal. Well, he always got a gold medal. Although he got medals and prizes, my brother never showed any emotions. "Why aren't you happy, John?" I asked myself. One day, John came to us, crying, tears streaming down his delicate face. He wept as he uttered, "Mom, Dad, I think I'm losing my hearing." Shock was written on my parents' faces. I kept asking my brother what he meant, but I got ignored. After a few years, my brother's hearing diminished, and I had understood what he had meant that day. John was devastated and did a few silly actions like cutting his wrists. Music was my brother's everything. Hence, losing his hearing meant losing everything. We tried to console him, but he just remained expressionless. His cheeks were never dry, for he cried buckets day in and day out. Then it happened. My favorite person, my idol, one part of me, was gone forever. It was the same year he lost his hearing, when he was only 15. That morning, I walked into his room only to find his pale, lifeless body on the bed. I screamed my lungs out, for it was a horrible tragedy that I would never want to witness. Mom came running, sensing danger. He, she nearly fainted as she checked his pulse. Although John tried to hurt himself before, there was no evidence that it was suicide. No signs of blood, struggle, or malice. Apparently, he died in his sleep. After a while, Mom took a deep breath and swallowed the harsh reality. She regained her strength, got back on her feet, and called the ambulance, and Dad too, while hugging me with tears streaming down her face. Then I found his diary. I took it and read the notes on the last page. "My life is music. Without music, I am dead." And those were John's last words. The hospital later ruled out that John died because of a heart attack that resulted from his severe mental stress and depression. I would not understand why music matters that much to him until I followed his footsteps. I took piano classes, and now I felt the same as my brother. Music played an important role in my brother's life as it gave him life and took away his life. I could not contain the tears that welled up in my eyes as I reminisced those times we were together until two tiny soft hands hugged me and said, "It's okay, Mommy. Uncle John is happy now."